If I forget thee, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget her cunning. If I do not remember thee, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth. If I prefer not Jerusalem above my chief joy.
That's why they made us sing to forget Jerusalem. So now guess we started doing my country, hey land up. We started singing that. And then the iron entered into our souls. That's us forgetting our cunning. We forgot that we the Israelites, we forgot our homeland. That destroyed us. So now when we talk, we talking they talk. We talking their education. We can't prophesy. These like that's why I said Isaiah 56 about how the pastors can't bark. Dumb dogs. They dumb dogs, so they done forgot their cunning. They don't teach that we the Israelites. A lot of evil happened in the Carolinas, bro. And the thing about North Carolina, it's got these islands out here. There's a lot of Levi on those islands. There's a city in North Carolina called Mount Olive, the whole city Levi. And they only speak Creole. Over 40% of all African ships in North America enter through Charleston. Right there. We gotta go down. The brothers are down there. And it's a lot of Benji down there. There's a whole bunch of Benji in Charleston, South Carolina. And the American Revolution represented a paradox and an opportunity. Both patriots and loyalists recruited enslaved men, yet both continue to condone slavery.
That shit is crazy.
Damn.
You know what this is? The Catholic and the Protestant church. The same exact thing. The Protestant church protested the Catholic church, but yet both of them had slaves. It's the same thing. It's a different political view that's here. But the foundation is your ass still my slave.
And all they did was,
They just want you to help them overthrow.
That's what it
their
was.
enemies, and then keep you in the same position when it's over.
Hey, same thing with the Irish.
even with the voters' rights,
Yeah.
it's not like I said they had any type of sympathy or they try to give us opportunities to free ourselves. They use this as an opportunity to advance their cause. Like the voters' right, they didn't do that because they want black people to vote. They did that so that they could win the popular vote.
Exactly.
What's crazy is that we just went through all that history to show from the 1400s to the 1800s how the massacres, the evil, the death, the oppression, all that stuff. Then we come right around the corner and the first thing you see is them introducing Christianity to us. The foundation is already destroyed. The people that are now teaching you this were the same ones that put you on the ship. That makes no sense. But yet we holding on to it. It don't make no sense. But but the delusion of Christianity makes you think that it makes sense.
The thing that they really want to do is get you to forget what they did to you. So they introduce you to this,
Right.
and then say, you know, all the evils and everything is now you under Christ, and we got to forgive each other and all of that stuff, so you don't rebel.
Listen, John 3:16 was written before we got on the slave ship, but it wasn't introduced to us until after they subdued us. That makes no sense. John 3:16 was written while we was on the bottom of the ship, but it didn't mean that then.
Nah.
It means it now though.
Yeah, over the course of his life, Joseph himself owned 69 slaves. Hypocrisy behind these people.
It's hypocrite.
They fought for the freedom and rights of black people, yet they themselves have slaves. 609 slaves.
Bro, that's
The labor and service provided personal liberty and wealth.
You know what? I'll give you an example. This is why so-called blacks and Hispanics that are doing well for themselves financially cannot see the plight of their people in this country. They can't sympathize. The same spirit of Jefferson to have slaves, but at the same time preach personal liberty is why black people are individuals and not a nation. It's why we don't have our own nation. We rather be my family. I'm blessed. I'm highly favored. My wealth, my car, my house. But all our people out here oppressed.
And check the last part, says the Declaration did not extend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness to all Americans, undermine the idea that all men are created equal.
Yep. It's written on paper, but it wasn't written for us.
That's at John 3:16. Esau will push that narrative that John 3:16, God so loved the world. That's for everybody, but it shows you right here that contradicts John 3:16. Yes, it says the Declaration did not extend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness for all Americans, but God so loved the world, right? It undermines the idea that all men are created equal. But under that doctrine, all men are supposed to be created equal. There's neither Jew nor Greek. But why do you use John 3:16 or Galatians 3:28? Jew nor Greek, but we are all one in Christ. But at the same hand, on the same hand, having
Got
slave
609 slaves.
Israelites.
Makes no sense.
And they're Christians too.
Well, he had to make sure that those good old slaves would have the opportunity to learn Christ.
Oh, that's right. That is true. And have a good old American education.
And then go to heaven.
Yep. And we go to heaven. Mm-hmm.
And we were so impressed. We were like, shit, I want to go to heaven.
I wonder what his religion was.
He's a Christian.
He's a Christian.
He's a Christian. That Turner opened up the Bible. He was like, hold up, this is a smite. I'm like, women in it?
Yeah.
Turner had faith.
Yeah. That's real. He a prophet of old.
Oh yeah.
I guarantee you.
100%.
I guarantee you, Lord's will we all make it. Christ gonna reveal. Oh yeah, he was that Turner too. I just sent it back. Well, man.
He definitely did that.
He said, I didn't want him to experience that. He said, but because I want to send put my anger back on earth for what they do, I'm going to send that just for that.
I'm gonna send it back.
He ain't gonna teach you. He ain't gonna go heavy. He's gonna kill. That's it. I'm just gonna send back to be a terror.
That's it.
Yeah, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Fred Hampton, all these men that weren't teaching we the Israelites, but yet the zeal in them and love for their people caused them to die for that thing, to be martyred for that thing. Them could have been prophets of old if the Lord just sat back.
He just
to
used
be
them
an
for
example to us. That when we get the gospel, to fight like they fought, even though they didn't have it, because they ran with Marshall, Ariel, all of the bishops, elders. There was only a certain level of understanding they were able to get to. They plateaued at a certain level. But now we got all these resources. But what all these men that came before us went through was they were martyred or they put their life on the line for their people. So I think the Lord allowed them to come before us. And I set forth the apostles last. Now we at the end, coming at the end, and we got to build up our faith and not be afraid to die, like they weren't afraid to die. What did Malcolm X have? He didn't have the money. He wasn't rich.
Yeah. But
He believed that shit.
Yeah.
And it was like he telling his wife, I ain't getting no job. I gotta teach the nation. I gotta do that. That's a real sacrifice right there. We can learn from that, even though he won't teach me Israel.
Well, you look at that too in Ezekiel 37 when it talks about the valley of dry bones, and we want to, skin starts to come upon us.
Yeah.
And our bones starts coming together. And you look at that, Marcus Garvey, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. Even though they weren't teaching that with Israel, the Lord used those men to push us to where we are right now. In order for the skin and the nationality to start to return to us, there had to be some type of grassroots, and they were the grassroots. So them being prophets, Marcus Garvey, that was a prophet. Right. But you listen to some of his speeches, he was talking about regeneration, coming back, mightier than he was. He said he's going to be more powerful in death than he was in life. Bam! He said he's going to do what he used to do. He said, I'm going to come back again and teach you as I have taught you in the past.
They'll never teach you the truth about the Bible. Yeah. So that's the bishop's Bible.
This is the bishop Bible. This is the one bishop needs to be chained to the pulpit. Okay, and then after that, it was chained to the pulpit. Yeah, that's why it was so big. So when the Latin Vulgate came out, that's when they was killing them, and they was upset with them because of what the other people was able to read it and read it for themselves. So that's why they got upset and they was murdering those guys, like Tinsdale and all them. That's why they was murdering them.
Read all the highlights.
Second Maccabees chapter 12 and verse 39. And upon the day following, as the use had been, Judas and his company came to take up the bodies of them that were slain,
So our brothers that died in the battle.
and to bury them with their kinsmen in their fathers' graves. Now under the coats of every one that was slain, they found things consecrated to the idols of the Jamnites.
Right. So we'll read that. Those brothers is wicked as hell. Because remember, during war at that time, how much time you spent on the road traveling, fighting. They got caught up in that. But watch this.
Which is forbidden the Jews by the law. Then every man saw that this was the cause wherefore they were slain.
Right. So when you look at you look at the men that laid down their life, they was in the various doctrines and so forth and so on. They got put to death. Watch.
All men therefore praising the Lord, the righteous judge, who had opened the things that were hid, betook themselves unto prayer, and besought him that the sin committed might wholly be put out of remembrance.
That the sin what?
Be put out of remembrance.
Why? Come on.
Besides, that noble Judas exhorted the people to keep themselves from sin. For so much as they saw before their eyes the things that came to pass,
Meaning what? Them brothers got revealed in that wickedness that they was in the midst of. Watch this stuff.
for the sins of those that were slain.
Uh-huh.
And when he had made a gathering throughout the company to the sum of 2,000 drachms of silver, he sent it to Jerusalem to offer a sin offering.
To offer what?
A sin offering.
Watch this.
Doing therein very well and honestly. In that he was mindful of the resurrection.
Come on.
For if he had not hoped that they were slain should have risen again, it had been superfluous and vain to pray for the dead.
Meaning what? If he known that them brothers wasn't gonna get the kingdom, it would have been void and pointless for praying for them.
Yeah.
Praying for them.
Watch this.
And also in that he perceived that there was great favor laid up for those that died godly.
Because God gave them that perception. So when we look at them, we look at Huey P. Newton, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, we like, they wasn't in the truth. But you got examples of men that was in the midst of idolatry that laid in their life for their people. Come on, is that in there?
It was an holy and good thought,
Uh-huh.
whereupon he made a reconciliation for the dead.
He did what?
He made a reconciliation for the
He
dead,
was able to make a reconciliation for the dead. Why?
that they might be delivered from sin.
That's heavy.
Is
That's
that
it,
in there?
that's it, yeah.
Because they died godly for their people. So that's why we
That's
can't.
Second Maccabees 12.
Second Maccabees 12.
That's heavy right there. I'm
Yeah.
using that tomorrow.
Yep, 39 through. Learn from y'all. But now I came across that and I was thinking about that. I said, damn, we look at the civil rights, they laid in their life. And the brothers sit back, man, they was wicked as hell, blah, 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 blah. But these men was in the midst of battle. Because remember, that was a battle. That was a battle. You had no certainty in your life. The KKK was over. They was firebombing your house, shooting your stuff up. And them men got killed. But guess what? Now, we in a position, Judas, it's not once a man, Lord, have mercy on them men, because they laid down their life for their people to give us the liberty to do what we do today.
And then they were living the curses, the curse that we haven't even lived through yet.
That's why we gotta be real careful now. With the waters risen, more than likely, them men that went through the civil rights and did all that, you already know that they gonna be in the kingdom. Listen, who else? Them few numbers did that whole flip the country upside down with a handful of men that stood up. Handful of men turned this country upside down, and the Lord has got the ball in our court to do the same thing, but this time permanent.
Going back to some of our fathers like Marcus, Malcolm, all of them like that. For them, they're the ones that the Lord used to push this to where we are right now. In order to bring out the truth. And some people look down on like, oh, they're part of this religion, part of that religion. The only reason, like I said, we know about Maccabees and all that, because you had Spartacus, you had Hannibal, you had many different slave revolts, but the Lord didn't document those, those historical figures because of
facts.
He didn't document that because those were the prophets that the Lord highlighted. It doesn't mean that they weren't great men.
Yes.
All of us, think about all throughout the nation, all throughout time, we was in sin. The Lord just had to select men that he highlights more than other people. He's not gonna have mercy on whom I have mercy on. Even for the future, he says, he didn't say, who are these that coming from far? You think they gonna know who they are?
Now they just getting brought over.
They're gonna be brought over based upon the mercy that the Lord's gonna have.
What is the nation?
Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family.